The justice system isn't a place to keep us safe from dangerous criminals, but because it is run by imperfect humans, it sometimes lets us down. And because humans are attracted to pretty things, it is usually the beautiful people who gain from a flawed system. Today, we'll be looking at 10 dangerous criminals who got away, either in court or in the eyes of the public, because of their good looks and not their innocence. Do you like hard-hitting and factual content? Subscribe to our channel for all the best and bizarre content your brains can handle. Stephanie Woods. Back in 2008, Stephanie made national headlines because she's a beautiful young lady who follows laws and respects people. No, not really. But how nice would it be if that were the case? No, Stephanie decided to rob Girl Scouts. No, I'm not joking this time. The strange act was then broadcasted around the entire country and she earned the nickname Cookie Monster. Yeah, that will teach her a lesson. Give her a cutesy nickname that will make sure that she never commits a crime again. I guess the justice system thought the media notoriety would keep her out of trouble because she escaped a harsher sentence. Since she was still a teenager at the time, she only received juvenile sanctions. I suppose that giving a teenager a slap on the wrist after traumatizing innocent kids is being merciful. But in this case, the mercy wasn't deserved because fast forward a few years and she's racking up criminal charges like they're going out of fashion. She has the whole puppy eyes thing going on because she manages to get away with only a few months jail time for every conviction. Look, she's young and she's beautiful and she's got so much to live for. You know, like kidnapping and robbing and stuff. The courts have described her as an intelligent young woman who just wants to get her life together. I mean, obviously, look how badly she wants to prove it. It seems like playing the innocent victim is her modus operandi because in 2009 she pretended to be the victim of a kidnapping. And then she and her boyfriend proceeded to rob a man of his prescription drugs. So, if you ever find yourself facing aggravated robbery charges, just widen those baby blues and pretend to be the victim. Wait, is that not the lesson I'm supposed to be learning here? Alyssa Bathrick. What would you do if you've been arrested or accused of a felony? Cry? Call a lawyer? Or maybe, like Alyssa Bathrick, you'd walk out of the police station and tweet about your cute mugshot. I'm so happy to see that Alyssa has all her priorities in order. I mean, it was her inaugural arrest and she did hand herself in, so it seems like she might be a misunderstood teen. After enjoying her 15 minutes in the spotlight, the world seemed to move on. I mean, the world is more exciting than a cute girl getting arrested for like 4.5 hours. It's not like there's a war on terrorism going on or anything. Okay, so when I say the world moved on, I meant everyone in the world except for Alyssa herself. Because a few months later, that cute mugshot girl was arrested for shoplifting. It seems like this halo effect is not helping out those attractive people who aren't actually very good people. For those of you who don't know, the halo effect is when we give pretty people good personalities in our heads and let them get away with more because they're pretty. So they must be good. Keep this in mind since I will be referring to it as we go on. Believe me, this can be the only explanation for what's to come. Oh, right. We were busy with Alyssa. I got caught up in more important things and almost forgot. That's okay. It seems like she's used to it by now. The latest cute mugshot will be posted in about 5 minutes. After posting the original, Alyssa's Twitter feed was flooded with praise, declarations of love and loyalty, as well as curiosity. What had this cute creature done? Her reply also doubles as an explanation for everything else in life. Xanax, homie. Megan Simmons. Megan Simmons is a prime example that the public will forgive just about anything if you're attractive enough. Megan's mugshot went viral and was meme-ified soon after it was released. No one knew her name or what she did, but throngs of men were willing to sell their kidneys, even if they didn't know why she had been arrested. She could have been a Black Widow killer for all they knew. But no, at least she was hot, because that is what we're supposed to be focusing on. Megan is actually a single mom of 4, and unlike many people on this list, she managed to turn her life around. She works as a medical assistant and regularly posts pictures of her and her kids, which is cute. She thinks that her mugshot is actually ugly, and can't understand why it has received so much attention. She has received declarations of love, marriage proposals, and even job offers. Fair enough, it was an offer to work in a bar in Ireland. But how many convicts get that much attention or thoughtful offers to help them get back on their feet by random strangers on social media? This may be the way of the world, but sometimes the world can get blinded by a pretty face then stabbed in their sleep by a pretty murderer. I'm not even joking. She was arrested because of a DUI, and while everything had a happy ending, it could also have ended in tragedy. I wonder if having a pretty face could help you get away with murder. Stay tuned, because that question will be answered by another entry on this list. Angela Coates. Looking all dolled up and ready for a night out, Angela Coates' mugshot had gained quite a bit of attention. She was arrested on charges of disorderly conduct, which is sad for all those smitten men who were willing to ride to her rescue. After all, there is nothing more enticing than a damsel in distress. Thankfully for her, she was released in the same night, so she didn't need some weird internet creeps riding to her rescue. Okay, getting away with crime or getting more attention because of it is not a joking matter. But maybe these people pay a higher price. Yeah, sure, the attention is great, but what kind of attention are they getting? Because believe it or not, getting hit on by someone random is not the greatest feeling in the world. Then again, I'm pretty sure her modeling career received some more attention after this, so there we go. When attractive people get arrested, the world gets a hot convict. But when I get arrested, I'm drunk and ruining Christmas. I mean, I'm not bitter at all. I'm just sensing a bit of injustice here, that's all. Stephanie Beaudoin. Who watched The Bling Ring? Yeah, me neither. Basically, a bunch of middle-class teenagers rob rich celebrities because social media forced them to. Or something like that. The movie was a lackluster, but Stephanie Beaudoin's story is way more interesting. She was arrested and charged with over 42 break-ins and with possession of 3 illegal firearms. Wow, she sounds dangerous. I bet she's in prison thinking about what she did. Ha! You're wrong! See, that's what she would be doing. But after she was arrested, a picture of her in a bikini surfaced, and now she's a model. I'd be less annoyed if she had committed those robberies alone. But no, she was too afraid to do that. So she enlisted the help of 2 teenagers and an 11-year-old. She's such a good role model, helping 3 impressionable kids into a life of crime and getting off with 90 days of jail time to be served over weekends. Did I mention that they found 3 illegal firearms in her car? And that she's not been banned from ever being near kids again? I'm pretty sure people have been sentenced to life imprisonment for less. I'm not saying that they should have locked her up and forgotten about her. I'm just saying that the prison of fame and fortune was not what any of the victims had in mind. She does have restrictions, though, and may not capitalize on her dangerous convict persona. She says she has no problem with these restrictions. After all, if she needs extra income, she knows which houses are profitable. Before we carry on, we have a question for you. What do you think felon Monica Hargrove did to earn the nickname the Vanity Felon? Let us know in the comments section and stick around to see who is right. Ready, set, guess! Sean Corey. Sean Corey doesn't like Fox News. Want to know how I know that? Well, on Halloween, Sean saw a fellow Halloweener dressed as a Fox News anchor. So, he did what any normal person would do. He beat that person with a tennis racket while screaming, "I hate Fox News!" It's good to see that he's taking out his aggression in such a healthy way. Everything was going according to procedure, but then his mugshot was released. And then the internet collectively lost its mind. Kim Kardashian had to pose naked to break the internet, and Sean Corey just gets arrested and memes are born. Look, I'm not saying that the internet is interfering with justice. I'm just saying that the police officers cannot be happy with the hot convict trend. Imagine just doing your job and contributing to the greater good when all of a sudden your hard-earned case walks out the door with the prospects of a modeling career, while you, a productive citizen who is doing the right thing, gets a pat on the head and told to get back to work. Demoralizing, isn't it? Jeremy Meeks. If you don't know who Jeremy Meeks is, then you're probably a healthy, law-abiding citizen. Jeremy Meeks was arrested for a string of crimes that fall under the category of street terrorism. If you live in a pretty secure neighborhood, then this crime doesn't affect you and you probably don't know what the big deal is. But if you're well acquainted with street terrorism, then this one is going to hit very hard. Jeremy Meeks was facing the full force of the law until his mugshot went viral. Have you ever seen a feeding frenzy? Well, Jeremy Meeks was the blood-soaked waters and the internet was the shark. The hot felon was an overnight sensation. So much so that his mom was able to raise his bail money, set to the tune of $1 million via a GoFundMe page. Guess what he does now? In his free time, he goes to church and now has a job that he always shows up for. Then again, he is a male model and walks down some of the most prestigious runways in the world. Did his fellow convicts get the same treatment? What do you think? Most comics have a tough time finding a job after being released. That's all I'm saying. Angie San Clemente. If you have ever dated a scumbag, then you could probably empathize with Angie San Clemente. She dated a drug lord. It didn't end well. Now, most women would drown their sorrows in ice cream and a box of tissues, but Angie wanted revenge. And not Carrie Underwood revenge either. She managed to set up a rival drug smuggling ring. She didn't just want to get back at her ex, she wanted to drive him out of business. The Colombian beauty managed to set up her operation in Argentina. She recruited fellow models and beauty queens, trusting that no one would suspect her angel's drug smuggling. She did so well that she became known as the Queen of Cocaine. This sounds like something out of a movie. It is sad to see what happened to Angie because she was an international model and beauty queen. She now expresses remorse and still proclaims her innocence despite the mounting evidence. Luckily, though, she was released and sent back to Colombia less than halfway through her jail sentence. Looking at her claims of innocence may present the risk of actually believing her and offering everything you own to help her out. But it must be remembered that no sane convict admits to being guilty. If it weren't for her angelic appearance, no one would believe her either. Jon Jones. For those of you who follow the sport of MMA, Jon Jones is not a foreign name to you, but to those of you who don't know who he is, then just know that he is an MMA fighter who does quite well. Unfortunately, that is not all that he is known for. He's also known for the fact that he killed a pregnant woman after a hit-and-run accident. Hit-and-runs are a felony, but Jones was not convicted of a felony. No, he had to serve probation and attend 72 charity events. Is that the price of a life? Doesn't seem too steep. Then again, making him go to charity events and talking about the dangers of crime might be very effective on more impressionable minds, but so would matching the punishment to fit the crime. Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. The Lizzie Borden case was a sensational media storm, and it is still one of the most famous unsolved murders in history. In 1892, she was arrested for the brutal murders of her father and stepmother. All the evidence was stacked against her. A few days before the murder, she bought powerful cleaning agents that could also double as poison. A few days later, she burnt a dress that she said was paint-stained. She also had a rubbish alibi and was the only person around. It is also unlikely that a murderer would chill in the house of his victim and wait for his second victim. She claims to have been outside in the stifling hot barn loft for the entirety of the brutal crime. Look, they didn't have forensics back then, but come on! The trial was a media circus, with the victims' skulls being paraded around. But when Lizzie did something smart, she fainted. This garnered sympathy from everyone. After all, she was a petite Sunday school teacher, and she's a woman. Women can't commit murder. They're not strong enough. It turns out that sexism worked out in her favor, because she was acquitted after just 90 minutes deliberation by the jury. She then spent the rest of her life in a comfortable mansion bought by her father's large fortune. It's time to find out who guessed the answer to our quiz question. Monica Hargrove was a wanted woman after kidnapping a woman and robbing her at gunpoint. The police then shared her mugshot, hoping for tips. And they got a big one. Monica herself contacted the police and turned herself in because she thought her mugshot was unflattering. Did you guess correctly? Have you ever gotten away with a crime just because of your really good looks? Are you one of the lucky few who got away with it? Let us know, and don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe.